Alrighty, here we are for round 3. We got on the play. We have a pretty decent hand. We have a 3-drop. We have a 1-drop. We have a good 4-drop. And we'll see how it goes. Our opponent's mulligan to 6. He keeps. And he leaves it on top. It's one of the best 1-drops in the set for turn 1. It's the only 1-drop in white that I would even maybe consider playing if it is the only one it actually is white. I can't really remember. There's other good 1-drops in the set. There is the Sniper in black, the Bloodlust Initiate in red, and then that one in white. There's also the green one that is gets land as an 0-3, and the Slither Blade in blue. Those are all pretty good. Here he's not put much aggression on the board, so we have time to develop our board, which is great. We're going to play the Monument, and the next turn play the Kodo, or the Spider. We'll see what happens based on the board state here. His Phantom Bear is going to do a lot of work this game and late game, but not really early game because it's just going to gum up his mana and everything. Here he took my Glorybringer with Lay Bare the Heart. Scary notion. I have 2 of these. That's fine. This allows him to take a non-legendary creature, non-land from my hand and have me discard it. So he took my best card in hand. That's fine. We'll see if that matters later on down the road. Here we're going to play our Spider, get a token out of it, and then pass turn. Lay Bare the Heart's a pretty good card. It's the worst top deck in a late game. It is the really good 2-drop after you have a couple things on the board to actually deal with their biggest threat in their hand that they haven't played yet, like a Sphinx or Glorybringer, Ifnir. And if you also got a lot of low drops, you can easily get it in play. Unfortunately, he didn't have anything afterwards to do something, so he just has a Phantom Bear to tap one of my guys. I'm going to let him tap one of my guys. So he's going to tap down my Spider. I'm not going to send my Warrior into his Doom Descender. That's just not smart. I could cycle the Sandworm and play Nimbleblade. Or I could play the Kodo. That's the options. I'm going to go ahead and cycle the Sandworm and play the Nimbleblade. It gets still 2 creatures on the board. Yes, it doesn't develop my board as much, but then I can have Electrify next turn, which will pump the Nimbleblade with Prowess, which will make it a lot better. As long as I'm developing my board and drawing a card, I use up all my mana, which is great. That's what you want to do every turn. If you can use up all your mana every turn in Limited, and even more in Constructed, you will win games more often than you will lose. Just being able to actually develop your board and still play spells and still actually use all your lands is great every turn. Here, once again, we want to attack before we play anything from our hand. We did accidentally play a land. We weren't actually going to attack at all because it didn't matter. We're just going to play our Kodo. And put the counter on the Nimbleblade. Make it look like a piece of garbage, when really we have Shed Weakness in our hand. Here he's going to Spreading Agony, I'm assuming. He's trying to figure out which creatures he wants to put on. He's going to put it on our Kodo and a Warrior token. kill off the warrior token, Kodo gets a counter. Shed Witness is going to take that off, or take this counter off here. Great. This card is not that good. But it allows him to use his Fanbear this turn, which is fine. Here, once again, we have Electrify and Nimbleblade. We're going to let him tap one of our creatures. He does not. He wants to kill this and get another creature in play. That's a lot better than this. I understand that. We're going to see what he has. We're going to swing with our Spider and our Kodo and see if he's got anything. Because if he didn't tap our creatures the last 2 turns, he must have something for this double white that he's actually been sitting with. So he's now tapping my warrior? This is the other 2-0. And he just killed off his Doom Descender. Get back his zombie. And we're going to play it in Nimbleblade. Yay, I lost a life. He gains a life. Don't play this card, please. If you are in a tournament and you see this in your you see this in your 6-packs, just put it off the side. Unless your deck is super aggressive and your opponent is super slow, you can board it in. But otherwise, I would never play this card. Here he's playing another Fanbear. If he actually has the ability to use both those, he's going to lock up his mana every single turn. He does not have many lands. So I really don't care if he has 2 of these. These are not good in multiples. These are better in just one of them. And you see, as we have a ton of creatures in play, it really doesn't matter if he taps down our guys, because we're still going to get swings in somehow. It'll be a little bit slower, but we'll still get to be able to do some damage every single turn. Here, we're just going to swing with the Kodo. There's no reason to swing with anything more. Here, I'm going to keep the Forest in hand. We don't really have a bigger creature in our deck that we can play, other than another Sandworm. And we can't play a Sandworm on this board anyway, so we're going to keep the land in hand just to Fed Unburden, Masmic Mummies, stuff like that. We don't want to discard these 2 cards, we want to keep them. We also don't really need to affect the board that much with Electrify. These 2 creatures I don't really care about. Here's a Binding Mummy. And then he's going to probably Fanbear one of my creatures next turn. If I killed one of these, it would actually semi-help him. So I really would not want to help him, and I'd much rather just save this for a better creature that's coming up later on down the line. There's got to be a reason for this guy being 2-0. And we'll figure out why. Here we have a Glorybringer. It will just get fanned. So I'm not really inclined to play it, honestly. We could play it. We could use the Forest plus the Painted Bluff to play it. But I'd much rather just have it for a later turn where he doesn't have the 4 mana and we actually can get him pretty hard. So here, he's going to tap one of my creatures. The Spider, again. We're going to swing with our Kodo. That's going to be it. I'm assuming a double block here, or taking 2. He could double block with the Mummy and the Zombie. And we're going to go ahead and kill both. We also get to remove our counter from our guy and destroy both his creatures. Now we should just play our land. Now we shouldn't play our land anyways, because we still need a fake Unburden in case he has it, because I want to keep our Glorybringer. Even though if he does Unburden us, we have a great board. It's not a big deal. Here's a 3-1. We could Electrify that. I'm not going to worry about this card again. And this is a turn where he tapped down to where he can't use his Fanbears, so we can go ahead and play the Glorybringer. We get our token out of it. We've used this thing to the maximum every single game we've played it. He is getting a lot of attention off this card, but that's fine. We don't have many creatures left to play this game. He's gained like 3, maybe 4 life from this thing. And that's fine with me. I don't really care too much. This Talkrop, we have 4 warriors which can just jump in front of this. It's not really a big deal. And we can also swing with this spider as well. We're going to kill off the Talkrop. Not Talkrop, sorry. The Spearmaster? Yeah. It's the Spearmaster. And then we're going to swing for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's going to put a Fanbearer in front of his creature, cast a really weird card, which exile my guy, and then we're going to his turn. This card really doesn't work too often, but when you have a lot of zombies, this card can really be leveraged really well. It will also go around late in drafts, so you can pick it up pretty easily. It's called Time to Reflect. Whenever a creature gets blocked by a zombie, you can exile the creature that is blocked or was blocked by, so if you're attacking, also you can get the creature out. It's kind of like Impeccable Timing, but a lot better because it does exile, and it also kills everything. Here's playing Renewed Faith, cycling to draw a card. He needs more lands to actually affect the game and actually possibly win. This is still game 1, and I've showed him I have 2 Glorybringers. Here we're just going to see if we can get an attack in. He's going to tap down one of my giant spiders. We don't need to attack. There's no reason to. We could have swung for 2 with Prowess here. Not really that big of a deal. By playing this prior, not really that big of a deal. And I'd much rather just get counters on this than hold up Electrify. There's no reason to really hold Electrify here. I could have played my land, hold up Electrify, and then had counters. It's not a big deal. He's going to cycle Stir the Sands, get a zombie, hold up a Fanbearer trigger for my Glorybringer. I'm just going to make it so one random creature can't attack. I'm going to let him do his thing with a Fanbearer, tap down my Glorybringer. And then we get to get in. He didn't even block my Nimble Blade. I felt like it was a free attack with all this mana open. So I just did extra damage. Here we're going to just put another counter on this lovely counter-friendly Nimble Blade and get rid of it. Because it got 2 more counters from this guy, turned it into a 4/5. Yeah, he got a couple triggers off this curse. That's not a big deal. He's not done really that much damage to me other than this curse and a little Fanbearer Pex at the beginning of the game. Yeah, we're at 12, but I'm not worried. Here he's going to get a First Strike Zombie and a little token. This cartouche also, yeah, First Strike Zombie and this token now has Vigilance. He can swing if he wants to. He's not going to. I'm going to go ahead and just keep ramping up counters on Edifice. Here, we're going to get Fan Bear twice, probably. He's actually got a lot of lands, so these Fan Bears now are becoming actually worthwhile. But we can lock one down with Edifice once it gets 3 counters. We can kill one off with Electrify. So we're doing pretty good. I'm not really worried at all. Here we can play Kodo, get another Warrior, and get down to 10. That seems fine. He's getting a lot of life off this curse, but it's not really that big of a deal. Here we're going to put the counter on the Glorybringer, make it a little bit worse. Maybe he won't tap it eventually. I highly doubt that, but we'll see. I'm not really worried. And this is the creature most likely to die, so if I can make it worse and make my other things better, that's pretty good. Whenever you have a creature that's so big impacting that they need to kill it, if you can put counters on it in this set to make it worse, they may leave it alone. They may think other things are more threatening. And they may want to, or they have to kill us. You just got really a good abuse out of it. Here he made a zombie with his land, and then he's also not going to attack again. Awesome. I'm just putting counters on my Edifice, getting to the situation where I can actually use it on the Fan Bears, and then electrify the other one. I'm giving myself the most time to actually for him to draw a threat as well. He has not. So we can now swing with just the Kodo. And that's it. He's going to chump. We're going to get rid of his Warrior, and we're going to move on. Here I'm going to electrify one of his Fan Bears. And that way we can have less effect with that. Here he's tapping a ton of mana? What is this? Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad I have a lot of tokens to sacrifice that thing. See these 6 tokens over here? They're now cannon fodder for Cruel Reality. This thing is really good, but not going to do anything. Because I have like 6 tokens that are just going to own it. Here we're going to tap. Here we're going to make us the Fan Bear can't use his activate ability. We're going to lose a token. We're going to keep 2 lands in our hand. They really don't matter. I mean, we're just going to play a land, and then we're going to attack. We're going to exert, knocking off the zombie with actually the cartouche on it here. We have a pretty good line of attack here with a lot of creatures. This turn and next turn should be enough to do the job here. This game should not last too much longer. That turn he had to play the Cruel Reality, and he couldn't even hold up Fan Bear. So that didn't matter too much. Here he's playing Lord of Curse, so get him more +1/+1 on each of his zombies. His deck is like mono zombies. That's pretty sweet. Here we're just losing our Warrior token. I'm going to make it so he can't use his Lord of a Curse next turn to give his creatures menace. and also so it can attack. He's using my Binding Blade. We tap down his the 4/5 Great Maw, and then he's going to concede. Okay, so we're going to game 2. He had a really cool enchantment. That unfortunately does not deal with that. His deck is very slow, which is great for our deck because our deck is also very slow. We showed him both these rares, which is fine. We really don't have anything to sideboard. Honestly, we have this card to deal with his enchantment that cost a lot. We could bring this in. This is what happens when you have Evolving Wilds, Painted Bluffs, and also Gift. You want to look at some cards like this and see if you could bring it in. That Cruel Reality is actually really good. I'm going to bring this in. We have Evolving Wilds, Painted Bluff, and Gift. I'm going to add a Plains to my deck. That might screw me up a little bit, honestly, but it's so slow of a matchup. He really wants to utilize all his cards really well. I'm going to keep this Monument in case we don't draw that and we want to get to the point where we have to sacrifice tokens again. These Nimble Blades are really good still. Everything here seems still really solid. The Spider's still good on the ground, but it doesn't really do much otherwise. So we're going to take that out for Forsake the Worldly. That's it. He had 2 enchantments that did some work that game, so we want to actually leverage them and deal with them. Here we have 2 Lander along with the Gift. We already have our white, which is really kind of weird that we drew our only Plains that we just boarded in. Here we're not playing this till turn 3. We're gonna, if we can, never play this Plains. Never show them that we actually have white. At all. Because we have white with Gift. And if he doesn't ever actually draw those enchantments, then we'll never need to actually use that card that we brought in. Here's the Gift on a creature. Here's a Gift on a land. We can't swing because he's probably just going to tap our guy. We'll gain 3 life. He's actually letting us attack. That's weird. He probably did not notice that my guy got Prowess. Or he has that Zombie Killer. That is fine. That is like one of our worst creatures. I'm totally comfortable with him losing that spell on one of our worst creatures in the deck. We have Glorybringer coming down. We have Manticore coming down. We have a lot more bigger things to do than care about that little card that killed a little guy. Here we just sacrifice land to get a zombie and then swung for 1. I would have much rather kept the land because you need to actually cast spells in this game to win. Like I've said before, you still may be playing against 2-0 in these things, but you do sometimes get to play against not really the best players, so that play kind of confuses me a little bit. Oh well. Here you cast Lay by the Heart. I fortunately did not have a swamp earlier to cast this when I had my Glorybringer. He's taken the Edifice. Either one of these cards would have been fine to take here. I would have not known what to take here if I saw these two cards in my opponent's hand. But Edifice is probably right, because you can probably kill Manticore pretty easily. He now knows I have the Plains, so I'm going to go and play it. There's no reason to me to not just play it. And he concedes. So we went 3-0 in this Phantoms sealed here. We just won 90 player points. We spent 60 player points to get it, so we banked 30. Took us a couple hours to do, but we got basically $3 out of it. And we got to also practice with this set that we're still learning with. It's a really good set. I like it. I think that this is a great way to learn a new set, and if you don't want to spend a ton of money on it and do well and see how well you do, because when you're online, most of the cards are not going to get your money back at all. And unless you have most of the cards are usually cheaper than $30 to build a deck. I could probably honestly get like 3 Glorybringers for $30, maybe even 4 Glorybringers for $30, along with some Manticores as well. So that's really not worth the $30 I would put into this. Instead of putting in like $6, if I went 2-1, then I would just get back my money. So I went 3-0. We'll see you next time. Thank you.